What I want is I want something to be beautiful. I appreciate symmetry. I appreciate lines that flow smoothly, and I want it to be beautiful without it being saccharine or sentimental. I started carving because back in the early 60s, one time when oil was expensive, they drilled for it on my grandfather's land. And he didn't get rich off it, but for him, it was rich enough. He also then could do what he wanted to do, and he started doing this fan carving. And I was 12 years old, and I had never seen it before, and I was absolutely fascinated. Got some wood from my grandfather, and once I got started, I just didn't quit. First, I look for a good tree that's been blown down, and if it's still standing, I'll wait till it gets blown down. I don't cut any trees. So most of the trees that I use will be at least 80 to 100 years old. And northern white cedar can live to be 500 years old or more. I want one that's at least a foot or more in diameter. I want one that the bark on it looks like it's running straight instead of looks like it's twisting around the tree. I want one that doesn't have too many knots and branches coming out of it. So if it looks promising from the outside, I'll cut it up into chunks of about 3-4 feet long. So I'll take a big piece, shave it and split it down some more once I have the bark off, till I get it down to a little chunk like this, and this little chunk I can make into a bird. The basic technique of making fans is pretty simple. You make a groove to a narrow point, you split to that point, you soak the wood, you bend from that point. Bend it sideways and interlock that groove, see? With this simple technique of carving, and an eye for what's in the wood, you can make some pretty nice pieces. So I'm always trying to see what's in the wood and how can I accentuate that. People say it's amazing that these can be bent open like that, and I say, well, you take a piece of spaghetti out of the box and break it, and it'll break right away, but if you boil it first, you can tie it in knots. And this, when I have the wood well boiled, you can't quite tie it in knots, but I can take a fan blade, a feather, and twirl it all the way around about 3 or 4 times before it will actually come off. I learned from my father and grandfather, and I'm teaching my son and grandson, and this being a different era, my daughter and granddaughter.